Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're stepping back over a century to a time when cars weren't just about speed or luxury, but about craftsmanship, creativity, and courage. These are machines built in the early age of motoring, when every line was drawn by hand and every journey felt like an adventure. In this video, we'll explore 10 iconic classics from the 1920s and early 1930s, from the elegant Mercedes Gazelle to the dependable Ford Model A, with a personal touch, unique insights, and a few maintenance tips along the way. So, buckle up and let's take a ride through automotive history. Number 1. 1921 Mercedes-Benz Gazelle. The 1921 Mercedes-Benz Gazelle is elegance captured in metal. This particular example has only 600 miles on it and was once used for a wedding before being stored away. Even back in the early 20s, Mercedes knew how to balance beauty with engineering precision. The Gazelle's sweeping fenders and tall grille spoke of luxury, while its smooth ride reminded drivers the Mercedes wasn't just making cars, they were crafting experiences. Maintaining a vintage Benz like this is all about patience, checking the cooling system, lubricating moving joints, and keeping chrome surfaces dry. It's not about horsepower, it's about preserving grace. Number 2. 1930 Ford Model A four-door. Next, we move to America's favorite, the 1930 Ford Model A four-door. This model replaced the legendary Model T and quickly became one of the most reliable cars of its time. This one even features a crushed velvet interior and the famous Ahuga horn, that cheerful sound that instantly brings the roaring 20s to life. Back then, the Model A symbolized progress. It was affordable, tough, and easy to maintain. For modern owners, keeping the carburetor clean and using non-ethanol fuel will help it run just as smoothly today. Compared to its rival, the Chevrolet of the same era, the Model A was simpler but built like a tank, the kind of car you could fix with a wrench and determination. Number 3. 1920 Ford Model T electric conversion, $12,500. Now here's something special. A 1920 Ford Model T converted into an electric vehicle. That's right, the car that originally put the world on wheels is now powered by lithium batteries. It can go around 40 miles per hour with a range of about 3 hours, offering silent running and zero emissions, yet it still keeps the charm of its century-old design. This is the perfect example of how history and innovation can meet halfway. For anyone restoring an EV-converted classic, keep the battery charged monthly and monitor temperature levels carefully. It's a new life for an old soul, and Henry Ford himself would probably have loved the idea. Four. 1927 Ford Roadster Model T, $10,000. The 1927 Ford Roadster marks the end of the Model T era, and what a send-off it was. This particular one hides a secret under the hood, a 1978 Mustang II motor and automatic transmission, giving it the reliability of modern power with the looks of the Jazz Age. It's been driven in parades and still runs strong, a perfect example of how vintage cars can stay relevant through smart engineering updates. When mixing old and new components, proper brake balancing and cooling adjustments are essential. It's not just a car, it's a bridge between 2 centuries of automotive design. Five. 1930 Ford Model A two-door, $13,500. Our next classic shows what careful preservation can do. This 1930 Ford Model A two-door has new tires, powder-coated wheels, and a 12-volt electrical upgrade. It may be 95 years old, but it still drives with confidence. Model A's were built for rough American roads, and even today they remain among the easiest vintage cars to maintain. A quick tip: always grease the suspension joints and check the fan belt tension. These small things can turn a shaky antique into a smooth Sunday cruiser. 6. 1929 Ford Model A, $14,999. This one's something special, an all-original, rust-free Model A that's still in running condition. That means it's been preserved, not restored, and that's rare. Owning a car like this is like owning a living piece of history. Even the paint tells a story. Small imperfections become memories rather than flaws. Unlike modern cars that rely on computers, this one teaches you mechanical empathy, listening to the idle, adjusting timing by feel, and smelling oil to know if it's running rich. One technical tip for owners: modern gasoline contains ethanol, which can corrode old fuel systems. Use ethanol-free fuel or install a small inline filter to protect the carburetor. 7. 1930 Ford Model A Coupe, $17,000. If you love fully restored cars with attention to detail, this Model A Coupe is pure craftsmanship. It's been rebuilt top to bottom. New suspension, new interior, new heater, even a maintenance log dating back to the 1990s. That kind of record-keeping adds serious value for collectors, not just in price, but in heritage. It shows that someone truly loved and cared for this machine. The Model A Coupe was especially popular with younger drivers back then. It had a sportier, more personal feel. When comparing to the sedans, it's smaller, lighter, and easier to store, ideal for collectors today. And if you ever own one, wax the paint regularly and keep the undercarriage clean. 8. 1929 Chevrolet four-door sedan. Price, $19,000. By the late 1920s, Chevrolet had become Ford's fiercest rival. This 1929 Chevrolet sedan was known for refinement, quieter engines, smoother acceleration, and that elegant Landau top that screamed luxury. With just 53,000 miles, this car still moves like it's the Great Gatsby era. Chevrolet's inline-six engine gave it an edge, less vibration than Ford's four-cylinder, and a bit more torque for long-distance travel. One fun fact, this was the first year Chevrolet outsold Ford, a huge moment in automotive history. When restoring one, watch out for wood frame rot. Many Chevy bodies used wooden substructures beneath the metal panels. A humid climate can cause major structural issues if ignored. 9. 1929 Ford Model A, Class A. Price, $18,950. The Class A version is every collector's dream, a clean title, perfect gearbox, and just 4,500 miles on the odometer. At nearly a century old, this Model A remains a perfect driver. Driving one today is like operating a giant pocket watch. Every sound, every movement feels mechanical and honest. Compared to its European rivals of the same era, the Ford feels simpler but sturdier, less fragile, more rugged. Maintenance tip: because the cooling system is not pressurized, use distilled water mixed with a bit of rust inhibitor. Tap water can cause mineral buildup inside the radiator. 10. 1930 Ford Model A with rumble seat. Price, $12,500. Finally, we end with personality. The 1930 Model A with the famous rumble seat. This seat, tucked into the trunk, was the ultimate thrill for passengers in the 1930s. Open air, slightly dangerous, and always fun. This example has under 9,000 miles on a rebuilt motor and has been lovingly stored for the past 15 years. The restoration was done nearly 2 decades ago, yet the condition remains excellent, a testament to proper care. If you ever find one of these, check the hinges and drainage under the rumble seat area. Rainwater can pool there and cause rust, a common oversight among new collectors.
What we've seen today are more than machines. They're living memories. Each one represents a different chapter of automotive history, from Mercedes' luxury to Ford's ingenuity and Chevrolet's quiet rivalry. These cars remind us that progress doesn't always mean forgetting the past. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to keep a little of that old spirit alive. If you enjoyed this nostalgic road trip, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves the sound of a vintage engine as much as you do. Until next time, keep your engines warm, your chrome shining, and your passion for history alive.